Hello and welcome to The Voice of Todd. I'm Tom, and today I want to talk about the Orville TV show that I have sort of been meaning to watch for a while but never really had the chance, and I've binge watched it over the last 2 weeks, and boy, I want to talk about it. No gimmicks on this one. I'm not going to recount the 24 or 5, however many episodes there is in the 2 seasons combined. I'm just going to get in and tell you why I like it and I think that you should watch it. Obviously, this is a sci-fi show, so if you don't like sci-fi, if you're not a fan of Star Trek, probably isn't going to be for you, unless you like Family Guy and American Dad. The humour is not quite as crude and adult, but it's those lengths. You can tell it's written by Seth MacFarlane, and he does an amazing job with this. But I think that this is a show that has something for everyone, and I'm going to tell you why. Over the last few years, we have had some very bad TV created by the corporations, Hollywood, BBC over here in the UK. A lot of things that have either been fantastic first season and then politicised or twisted in a way, or they've taken a book or an idea from previously and just turned it into something that it isn't. And the Orville isn't one of those. It's honest. It's a lot of fun. It doesn't shy away from some of the problems that are going on, but it does it in its own way. Like Star Trek. Star Trek in the 60s, and I have to say, of all of them, I'm a fan of the original series. I do enjoy Next Generation. I remember watching it as a kid. I haven't gone back to it. Same with Deep Space Nine. Again, I watched it. It probably aired after The Next Generation on the TV when I was a kid. So I watched it then and I haven't gone back to it. I probably should, because I enjoyed this so much. But I never watched Voyager, I never watched Enterprise. Sadly, I have watched 2 seasons of Discovery. And that's partly why I didn't want to watch The Orville. Even though it's a completely separate thing, it's nothing to do with Star Trek, it's its own universe, it's its own world. Star Trek was ruined for even a non-fan like me by Discovery. This takes you on a journey back to when there was hope in shows like Star Trek. It gives you a clean, united world, just out there with a mission to explore, not to blow things up and kill everything and play the hero, but to find diplomatic solutions and where possible peace. There is fighting in this, there is a war going on in the background. There is some fantastic moments and set pieces. And you need conflict to drive things like this on, but this really looks at what makes humanity, and as an extension the Union, which is basically the federation of this universe, a great and inclusive place to be. There's a very strong human cast, but it does lend itself to telling stories about the aliens of the crew and other worlds, and there's a lot of exploring on different alien worlds and values and how it contradicts with human values and how it's overcome. The Union includes a lot of different alien species. Some of them do feature more prominently than others, but it's an inclusive and welcoming organisation of or for people in the galaxy. There is an adversary, the Krill, they're the Klingons. It's that idea. They're a very straightforward, very religious, warring, spacefaring species who are at odds with the Union because they see them as godless and they're leading their own crusade to wipe them out. that is your big conflict that runs through season 1 and 2, but it doesn't overshadow, and there's hints of it, but you get to see the side of both parties. It doesn't say we're humans, we're good, and everybody else is bad. It gives you reasons to understand both causes, which is something that I feel, and I don't watch TV anymore because of this. There isn't anything that explores both sides. The world that they've set up is a living, breathing, almost as much as the crew that you follow on the ship on the Orville. It truly has a next generation feel to it. Everybody's pulling in the same way. It's definitely Star Trek focused, very heavily influenced by the principles of Gene Roddenberry, which is fantastic. We haven't had that for a long time, and I think it's something that we need as a constant through our entertainment. They obviously written by Seth MacFarlane and the fantastic team that work on this. It does lean in on pop culture references. There is things from other elements and other shows and other storylines and things that you know from other sci-fi that will feature in this. The idea of a robotic race. We obviously have the crusading like Krill. There is an all-male species, and there's some very delicate conversations that are had with how they treat their females. And it all makes for fantastic episodes because it's written with care and passion. The designs of the sets, the aliens themselves, the uniforms, the technology across the whole universe is fantastic. It looks and feels futuristic. CGI looks great. It plays out very character focused, not just on our main characters. There's lots of inclusion in other, side characters and peripheral characters, and new characters come in, and you do feel like you get to spend some real time with them as well. Both series, I think series 2 flows better than season 1, and I think it looks better because they've established themselves by that point. The money's probably gone up a little bit, and they've got an idea of where they want to go. Season 1 has episodes that you could watch them in any order to a point, whereas season 2 seems to flow a lot more. And I prefer that interconnected feel. But both seasons are just written fantastically. And as I've said, the design and the CGI and everything, it works. It just works. It's everything it needs to be. And it definitely sells the idea of what's going on, and you believe the characters. This is done by Seth MacFarlane. He's a very funny guy. Family Guy. Never really got into American Dad, but both of them I've watched and I have laughed at. He doesn't take the humour with this as far. It's not as focused on making people laugh. It's not a comedy show, it's a sci-fi. But the humour works. It doesn't take anything away from everything that's going on, but it works and it makes it feel more real. It's not like Poe Dameron making telephone jokes or whatever he does in Last Jedi. They're not out to ruin anything. It feels more like Star Trek than Star Trek Discovery or Picard feels. And as we get later in to the season 2, the finale feels, and I'm not going to go into details, I'm not going to talk about individual episodes. I mentioned a few moments from episodes, but I'm not doing spoilers in this. I'm just talking about how much I enjoyed this. But the last episode of season 2 has a very big shift in design. and it felt to me, with the music and how the world was presented, more like Star Wars. And hopefully that you're interested by that and you want to go watch the show, go watch the show, because it's so worthy of your time. But they did Star Wars better than Star Wars is. Better than Disney's done it. And that's down to the writing and them understanding what it takes to tell a story and make you care about a crew. There's some very good characters. All of the cast is solid. I am a big fan of Seth MacFarlane's Captain Ed Mercer, but he's not your general heroic captain. He doesn't play it that way. It's brilliant, absolutely brilliant. I haven't picked out names of the cast and crew for this, and I do apologise. But a couple of the other characters that really stick in my mind, there's an alien called Bortus, who steals the show with a lot of the things that he does. He's very matter of fact. There's an episode where he discovers what cigarettes are. And now cigarettes haven't been around in the 24th century, or whenever it's 23rd, 24th century. They haven't been around for a long time, but how they deal with cigarettes, it is exactly how you feel when you first smoke a cigarette. And I used to smoke. I don't anymore, but I think everybody knows they're not good for you. And it plays into that very well. And him and his life partner Clyden, they carry that episode. It's so funny. The aliens, the sort of themselves, they don't feature as much, a lot of them, but there's elements of the crew. There is one who I think is incredible and is an absolute one of those characters that if there was any more it would ruin it. But there's a guy called Dan. I don't know what rank he is. Ensign, I think. He's called Dan, and he's an alien with a big bulbous head. Fantastic. Absolutely love him. Yeah, all of his scenes just crack you up. Go watch it. I had to buy it in the UK. There's nowhere that streams it here, which is... I don't know why, because it was on one of the Sky channels when it first came out. You'd think you'd be able to find it, but it's not. So I bought it off Amazon Prime. But if you have access to it to stream, watch it wherever you are. I know that the Hulu, I think, has it in the US now. Fox did have it, which is now obviously Disney. But a couple of episodes that stood out to me, and this show has become very quickly one of my favourite sci-fi shows of all time. And I'm a die-hard Firefly fan. Firefly is my thing. I'm just thinking what I've seen recently, as in the last sort of 5-10 years. Altered Carbon, Season 1 stands out. I don't really know what sci-fi there has been elsewise. Another one of my favourites that kind of flew under the radar here in the UK was Almost Human with Carl Urban and Michael Ealy. That was an excellent show, if you get the chance to see that. And there's other things that I am forgetting. Stranger Things obviously is going to be in the mix. But this stands up. Again, it's its own thing, it's totally different to anything I've just mentioned. But this stacks up, and already after watching both seasons once, it's already one of my favourites. It just works. And there isn't a moment in any of the episodes where you feel it's just filler and it doesn't serve a purpose, which is quite rare with a lot of TV shows, I think, anyway. But I want to leave you with my top 5 episodes, my top picks, having watched both seasons once. I will go back and watch them again, probably on my own time now. I've seen them and I know the gist. Season 3 is coming, hopefully soon. Hopefully we'll get it in the UK at somewhere that I can watch it and get access to it at least. But, and you'll have to forgive me with this, but my top pick episodes are Season 2, Episode 3, Home, which deals with one of the crew members going home to face decisions that they've made and how their family have reacted, which is a fantastic and very emotional episode, with some pretty good guest stars as well. Cupid's Dagger is Season 1, Episode 9. Again, never a dull moment with this. Rob Lowe does feature in this, and everything's better with Rob Lowe. He's got amazing eyes. But again, a great episode. Season 1, Episode 6, called Krill. This is where you really get into the meat of what the enemy is, and you get to see why they're doing what they're doing. It's about halfway through Season 1, and it gives you this idea of what's going on in the universe, and it's just that expansion in the story that I loved. And it's a very good episode as well. Lots of action, lots of fun, and some pretty good humour as well. Another one, Season 2, Episode 14. So this is the season finale and the cliffhanger that I'm currently at. The Road Not Taken. As I've said with Season 2, it plays more into each other. There's a lot more connectivity and it flows. There's more of a story arc flowing through than Season 1, I feel. Not that that's a bad thing either way. But The Road Not Taken is... it's very clever with what it does, and that's all I'm going to say. But it's exactly what you want for a season finale. And you'll have to forgive me with this one, because this isn't... it's 2 episodes, but they're 2 parts, so in my head I'm allowed. It's fine. It's my video, I'll do what I want. But Identity, Part 1 and 2, Season 2, Episode 8 and 9. This is the 2 episodes that really hooked me in on this. And I was really enjoying the show before, but those 2 episodes really made me sit up and think, these guys know what they're doing, and they are telling fantastic story, and they're able to just maneuver certain situations in that episode that really make you think. It really pushes Season 2 into 5th gear. Just hit the turbo and go. I think they're probably my favourite episodes, Identity Part 1 and 2, with the Season 2 finale quite close behind. But overall, this is an amazing show. I think that you should definitely watch it if sci-fi is your thing. The picture next to me on the video is of the Orville. The design of the ship, I wasn't keen on at first, but it really does grow on you. And the whole design of all of it is fantastic. The music, the sounds, everything about it is fantastic, and the guest appearances are top notch. But just everything about it is fantastic. It's amazing escapism, especially for a year like we've had. If you want something new to watch, just go watch it, because it deserves your time, and hopefully you'll be as hooked as I am. That's where I'm going to leave this one. I'm trying to keep these short. Yes, I'm talking about 2 seasons of TV, but I don't want to go into huge details and spoilers. So thank you very much for watching and indulging me while I talk about the Orville. Don't know anything about Season 3, that's how I want to keep it for now, until I sort of hear a release date. But expect more things like this. If you like them, sound off below in the comments. Please like and support the channel. If you think people would enjoy these videos, please share it with them. I'd like to do more TV series reviews. Maybe not an entire 2-season run in one go. But it's certainly something that I'm playing with and looking at with other things that I like to watch and talk about. So if you've enjoyed this, please let me know. You can always find me down in the comments or on Twitter. All the details will be following on the next screen. But thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.